last week when we did that little item about the guys who dug up the body and then made a bong out of a skull.
Right.
So I got a few emails that were like, dude, I didn't know, like, you smoke pot. And I just want to say, because there's a lot of kids who listen to the show. And, we're role models to some extent. That was a grave misunderstanding. Oh, God, that was horrible. I didn't mean grave. I didn't. I swear I didn't mean that. But, I want you guys all to know that, I don't need that kind of thing, to get high. I mean, I get high.
You don't need a human skull. An apple core or an old Coke can works just as well.
I can use my handcrafted Hawaiian wooden bong with the extra carburetor. I mean, no, that's not what I meant to say. I meant to say I get high on life and America. I have an American flag that I can just look at in my house if I want to get high. This is for my employers.
Soaring like an eagle.
My family.
Both Ryan
and all the readers out there.
Both Ryan and I have never smoked pot.
What do you mean both you
got
and,
drunk?
you and Ryan? None of us have.
Right.
We don't drink, smoke, cuss, or chew.
This is a family. This is a family
do.
podcast. Right. If you know anybody that ever has done those things, you should shun them because it's not good for you.
I should say though, for all my meth stories, I've never even tried crystal meth. That's a fact.
Well, you're alone in this room on that one. That one we have done. Yeah.
No, because that's like
all
one
the
of the
positive
things
experiences you've had around it.
Where it's just beyond peer pressure on that one. I just see what happened to the fools, and I'm like, this is make a note for that. This is a good story here, but it's one I don't want to be a principal character in.
Do not use this.
There actually are great stories when you talk to like ye old timers in the game industry of like people in meetings at EA with like bongs on the table as they were like planning stuff.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm sure it still happens someplace.
Those were the good old days. I'm sure it happens.
Sounds like.
I'm sure it was in one of those old album cover style.
Let's talk about
Zach, that's how they made them. What?
Anthony wants to tell us about his weekend job.
I work at well, again, I don't smoke pot, never have, but I do work at a medical marijuana dispensary.
Do you?
On the weekends, a lot of times, for extra money that my sister owns.
I've had this cough.
But if you were thinking of the one place where there would be a bong on the planning table while they're working.
It would be
like
there.
The amazing thing that like you work there, you don't smoke, you've never smoked, and these people come in and they're like, I don't know, man, would you recommend like the indica? Would you recommend the...
Well, the funny thing is they'll say the name, so like, yo, dog, should I get some like Misty Mountain?
Is that how a sick... Is this how
what your job is,
sounds?
really? Are you kidding? This is your job? You recommend what like type of like marijuana brownie people should pick up?
I hook them up.
Do you wear a lab coat?
wait, so I'm envisioning this terminal patient or this like half blind glaucoma person's like, yo, dog, I can't see the shit. Tell me what the good stuff
Nah,
is.
dude, come on. I told you there's like the terminally ill people that come in, and then of course there's like the people that went to like the doctor. Everyone on like the pot forum says like this is the guy to go to for the hookup. He'll write you prescription for headaches.
That doesn't happen, does it?
So do you get people coming in that just look like stoners who just want the hookup and they don't look remotely sick at all? Just
yeah.
Like, is that what most of the day is like? In fact.
Yeah.
Have you ever had? What about like have you ever had to kick someone out?
I haven't had to kick someone out, but I've had to tell people they can't come in. And that's when they freak out a lot of times. Or they try and, like, well, first they do, like, the thing everyone does. Like, anybody that's worked retail has had that person that comes up and they're like, hey, man, I need to return this. And you're like, oh, our store policy doesn't allow you to do that. And they all of a sudden go from, like, being, like, friends with you to just being, like...
hating you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's like.
Wait, who's returning things to the medical marijuana?
Oh, they're not returning
a bag of seeds and twigs. Like, dude, like, when I worked in grocery, in produce, like, one time this guy comes in with, like, a big Ziploc bag, and it just had mush in it. It was just, like, a black and brown mush in a bag. And he's like, I need a refund. I was like, what is that? He's like, it was a squash. And I was like, well, did you buy it like that? Did like you come in here with like a fucking scoop and scrape it off of the refrigeration grate, and then now you want a refund on it? And he was like mad because it's supposed to be, he's always right. He's like, where's your manager?
Sounds like used food. It's been processed.
So the takeaway from this conversation is that Ziff Davis has pushed me to selling drugs on the weekends.
How do you get a job like that?
Right, again, my sister owns it.
Oh, so. Okay. Now, could she or you? This is a serious question. Like like be busted? I mean, is this all like I'm not up on what the current law
She
is.
could be busted by federal agents.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I would just lose my job. But only federal agents, no state police can do anything. So, yeah.
It's up on the
That
law.
sucks.
So did you just sell her up the river here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
No.
All the federal agents listening to
yeah, who are fans of the podcast.
She has a
Wait a minute, Joe.
She has a California
Going on in
state business
California.
license. She's legit.
Run Gallegos through the computer.
They pay taxes and all that business. So
Yeah.
the government's getting their cut.
Yeah.
All right, so on to something other than
What up, Brian?